Hi, I'm Lindsay and I am the owner and artist behind Asthenia Designs, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am sharing with you a Blick art materials haul. In my last video I shared all of my 2025 product empties and I went through and talked about what I would purchase versus not repurchase, or what I would repurchase versus what I would not repurchase. And because of that, I decided that it was time to restock on a few things / try a few new things. For those who don't know, Blick Art Materials is one of the biggest art supply stores in the United States. There's other stores like Jerry's, Artorama, those are really cool too. Luckily around me, I can kind of choose, but I do have to drive far to go to any of these. So whenever I do go to a Blick or a Jerry's, I do like to buy a decent amount of stuff to make the trip worth it. So here is my bag. I'm gonna take everything out of the bag and put it in front of me, so that way I'm not making a whole bunch of really loud crinkle noises. Most of the stuff that I got was on some degree of sale, which was super exciting. So the main reason I went was I wanted to get 2 more of these Talons Art Creation sketchbooks. These are a really nice portable sketchbook and I really like the quality of paper. I haven't finished my other Talons one, but it's my purse on the go sketchbook. My main sketchbook is almost done, and what I really want to do after I finished my main sketchbook now is to do a finish a sketchbook in 1 week challenge. And the artist I was inspired by did it in these sketchbooks, and I know I really like them and they're affordable. So I picked up 2 while I was there. Next thing I got were these alphabet beads, and you could get these at Michael's or Amazon or whatever, but I've been wanting to use these not only in crafts, but I actually wanted to use them as art references and to scan them and play with sticker designs using the style of alphabet letters. So when I saw such a nice little wide variety pack, I figured I'm already here, might as well. The next 2 things were on clearance, and I got 2 sets of Princeton brushes. These I got for stenciling. I don't have any style of brushes like this, and I know I like Princeton brushes. And then they had a synthetic set, and I am partial to Princeton brushes. I really love the quality of them. They're very affordable, and they're from my home state. So I feel like I can be really mean to my little brushes, and when I paint a lot, they tend to get beat up, and as they get beat up, they become kind of their own style of brush. But I feel like I can never have enough of these littler brushes. They were each almost half off, so to me, it was worth it. The next 2 things are my most exciting purchase. I got 2 sets of the Winsor & Newton designer gouache, and they are in these specific color family sets. This one is a botanical set, and it has pale rose blush, opera pink, Bengal rose, sap green, and viridian hue. And then this one is a seascape set, and it has cobalt turquoise light, turquoise blue, sky blue, ultramarine, green shade, and permanent white. And I have gouache, but a lot of my gouache is older, and these were originally $64.79 and they're marked down to $25.92. So I'm really excited to play more with gouache. I think that is one of my least used media. I have more experience with acrylic gouache, but true gouache I've only used in the past year a handful of times. So I'm excited to play with these. So the second to last thing I got are these Canson watercolor pads. These were buy one get one free, and I specifically got these to use with the gouache, but also to make artist trading cards and ACEOs, because I know some people prefer them to be on really thick paper. When I'm doing drawings and stuff, I do it on cardstock or Bristol, but for watercolors I thought it'd be nice to have a nice thick watercolor paper that's not super expensive, because my ACEOs aren't selling for very much yet. I'm manifesting it. I have some nicer watercolor paper, but those are actually in color blocks where they're all glued and taped down. And then I have some Michaels brand watercolor paper, but I love Canson papers, and buy one get one free. How can you beat that? And the last thing I got was kind of a splurge, but I have seen artists use these. There's one artist in particular, and I can't remember her name, use these online, and it said they were new. I don't know if they're new at Blick or what, but they are the R&F drawing oils. And R&F also makes like larger oil paint sticks that I do have and have used and do like, but these are actually like small, almost the size of an oil pastel, a little bigger. It says that they have more wax and less oil. So they actually, I feel like it said something about like not needing to be varnished. Yeah, unlike oil pastels, crayons, or chalk, R&F drawing oils will dry to form a permanent protective oil film, no need for fixative. And I like the size. I think these would be super fun for working in plein air. It says that you can use them in your sketchbook, on stretched canvas, and on panels. I think what I would first try them on is a panel with gesso and see how I like them. The nice thing is what they do is they form a hard layer. Like I'm like touching it. There's nothing on my hand. And you actually like rub it off on a piece of paper or use a knife to get off the skin. And underneath that is the actual paint itself. In the past, when I've used the larger oil paint sticks, I had a bad habit of accidentally taking off way too much of the coating, which felt wasteful. So it says you can actually just draw on a scrap piece of paper or use a pencil/crayon sharpener to get the coating off. I'll have to experiment to see which ways create the least amount of wasted product, because that's my only concern with these, because they were like 30 bucks for this small box. So we shall see. I'm excited to try these though. So those were all my supplies. It was not a huge haul. It was just enough to kind of justify the trip there and give me some new stuff to play with and hopefully spark some inspiration. I do want to put myself on a little bit of like an art supply buying hiatus. I intended to do so and kind of did. Like, no, I really didn't. I intended to do so through like the end of 2025, and last month I was pretty good, but in general, I definitely have a bad habit of buying too many art supplies and not using enough of them. So that is definitely something I want to change. I'm telling you to hold myself accountable. I also just don't have the room for all these supplies. My studio is like chock full of stuff. So thank you for watching, and let me know if there's any products you want me to review after I try them. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.